What is up, guys, and welcome to this episode of the Positionless Pod. I'm your host, Kai Gamage, and I'm here joined, as per usual, with my wonderful, positionless, young, talented minds, the most talented minds in the basketball media landscape today. I've got Aaron Matthews, Diego San Agustin, and Michael Anthony Cruz, full roster from the outset. Boys, how's it going? What, man? I feel like I delivered that pretty well.
Yeah, that was great. That was
Thanks.
smooth.
Yeah.
What are y'all laughing about, man? Diego, what are you laughing about, bro?
Every time you
Your
throw
fault,
it
man.
over to us like that, I feel like a deer in the headlights.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like you should expect it at this point.
I like how nobody answered it.
Yeah, we expected at this point, but we still don't know what to say.
I know. Almost like nothing new is happening in any of our lives unless it
Absolutely
revolves
nothing.
around basketball.
Yeah.
What's popping? What's popping?
Okay, thanks.
No, what's popping to you? Like Kai, what's up? How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I've got a microphone stand. I've got Grady Dick and Pascal Siakam in the background watching over me, making sure I podcast well. Life's been okay. It's tiring. It's a lot of basketball. I think I watched like 6 games last night. I had 2 on my monitor. I had 2 on my laptop. Actually, no, I had 1 on my laptop and then 1 on my phone. So it was a lot. Like I think my head is still spinning. I can hear basketballs dribbling in my head.
Now you're talking
That's
basketball.
insane.
Ball is life, man.
I don't know about that one.
Ball is life. It's because like I didn't care about football last week just because it's my bye week basically, so just didn't care. Not that any of you guys care either. Diego, how about you, bro? What's with the top knot?
Oh, my hair's just getting really long.
What made you
Starts
want?
getting-
What made you
It
want?
starts getting in my eyes, you know.
Mm.
Pain in the ass.
Don't want to look like Jimmy Butler.
No. It's not Halloween.
You're out of that phase already,
It's
man.
too late.
Come on.
Yeah, it's too late.
Tough. But yeah, I'm looking like a samurai now. Holy crap, man. Relax. But yeah, we've got a pretty solid episode ahead of us here today. We're just gonna be going over like what we've seen throughout the NBA. There's not gonna be any special gimmicks today. We're gonna be talking about what the obviously the Clippers and the Sixers again. It never ends with these guys, eh? It's like last year. I can't remember how many episodes we made about the Brooklyn Nets. And now it's just kind of the same thing. We're just going to be talking every single show about the Los Angeles Clippers for good reason. We'll also talk about the hot Houston Rockets. They seem like they're taking off. And then we're going to get into the Minnesota Timberwolves.
I see what you did there.
Come on.
That was good.
Can I live?
That was like Aaron-esque.
Yeah,
No, it wasn't Aaron-esque.
Okay.
On the
No,
board.
it was
Not even
Aaron.
close. Not even close.
Okay, your delivery wasn't Aaron-esque, but the joke was Aaron-esque.
It wasn't a joke, man. I'm just.
Oh, you were serious?
It's like headline writing, man. Like this is.
Oh, okay.
my
Oh, yeah,
life.
you,
You have to like say things like that in like your headlines.
yeah.
And,
Oh, yeah, no, you're the writer. You're the writer. I get it.
Can I catch a break? And then yeah, we'll also talk about the T-Wolves. They're howling.
No.
Oh, yeah, that.
But yeah,
Oh.
there's been some hot teams in the NBA as of late. We're gonna start this episode off with one that is absolutely on the opposite end of the spectrum. The Los Angeles Clippers, who have lost 4 straight now.
Yeah, 5 straight.
5 straight.
4 with Harden.
Yeah, 4 with Harden on the floor. Harden sits at a solid minus 67 in his 125 minutes. This team sucks.
Yeah.
They suck. Did anyone think that they'd be this bad after trading for Harden? Like, I understood that the
I didn't
offensive.
think they'd be good, but like I didn't think they'd be this awful. Like,
No, I'll be straight up. I thought they'd be good. I thought they'd still be like top 3 in the West. I mean, like you still have superstars there. You still have Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and what we saw from James Harden last year. Like, I still expected them to be good, but to see them be this bad right out of the gate as soon as they trade for Harden,
But it's like when you picture Kawhi and Paul George, Russ and Harden on the court together, like I just can't see it working. It's never gonna work. Like I can confidently say right now that if Ty Lue doesn't change the starting lineup, or like if he doesn't rotate his lineups like with the potential that he has with these four guys, like it's never gonna work.
Yeah. Okay, let's just start with it. Like, what do we think is the biggest problem with this Clippers team right now? Like, why are they so bad with Harden?
I think
Okay.
with Harden, I think just the way that Ty Lue said it, that they just gotta let James Harden be Harden. I think that's where it's all stemming from. Like he's just maybe not playing himself. I mean, we don't know if he's still capable of playing like himself. He looks kind of washed out there, but yeah, I think that's just the main problem. Like it's just too much feel out that's happening throughout the game that you know it's kind of the guys are playing off. Like everybody's playing off. Kawhi's playing off. Paul George's playing off. It's just not working at this point, and it's just. I mean, we can say that they're still gonna take time to adjust, but hey, man, it's the NBA. We want instant results right away, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like I don't wanna like jump too quick on the James Harden hate train because they lost 4 in a row, because like this is a situation where any superstar or any star is gonna struggle. Right? Harden's now the third scoring option. That's not gonna be an easy transition for anyone. And take a look at it last year when Russ got traded to the Clippers. Like the Clippers lost their first, what was it, 4 or 5 games as well, I believe. So yeah, you just gotta give it some time. But again, this is a different situation because now you have Russ and Harden together, and at this point in their careers, I don't think they're capable of playing alongside each other.
See, I get it. Like Harden himself said that that he never had a training camp and he'll take time to adjust, blah blah blah, which is fair to an extent. But at the same time, you just lost to the Memphis Grizzlies that have Desmond Bain, Jaren Jackson Jr., and no one. That team has had one win before that, and it was against the absolute bottom team, which was the Trail Blazers. That was their sole win of the season so far, and then they beat 4 washed superstars in their most recent game. I get that there are growing pains when there is a big move like this, but like just by talent alone, there's no way that this team should have been embarrassed against the Grizzlies. Like he just I get about the whole growing pains and like being adjusted to a new team, new scheme, but none of them look interested. That's not something you would expect, right? Like I get that it, the schemes are tough to adjust to, but like and the interest level, the hustle, that's something you have to bring to the table regardless of the situation, and that's what was absent, and that is what concerns me about the Harden fit here. Like prior to this, even when they stank it up, like you could still see all three of them hustling, right? Westbrook always had that, but now the team just looks dead with him. And when he's on the bench, when Harden's on the bench, the team actually does better, which is just worse, which is just a worse look for him. So I don't know. I am personally concerned about this, even though
Okay, to be
it's
fair,
4 games in.
yeah, to be fair, the Clippers weren't lacking any hustle or energy when Ty Lue ran Paul George, Russ, and Terrence Mann on the lineup together. That's the only time they came back twice from double digit deficits in that game using that lineup. So that specifically, I don't have an issue with that. But yeah, with Harden on the bench, the Clippers are plus 24
Okay,
so far through the first 4 games.
I kind of want to jump on what Aaron said about the Clippers looking disinterested. I mean, are we even sure? Like, are we even sure the team is happy to have James Harden on this team?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't look like it at all. Like, I don't know, when I first saw the Russ and Harden video that came out, it doesn't seem like everybody was happy. You can see Terrence Mann not even acknowledging him. I don't even Russ wasn't
Well,
doesn't didn't look too happy at. Just I think the overall vibe of this team is off.
it is weird considering Russ and Harden are like really close friends. And yeah, the vibes were a little weird.
Yeah,
So
I don't.
yeah, go
I,
ahead.
th- I do think that like that. I mean, that whole video was like apparently Terrence Mann like addressed it. He was just like, oh, he had already come into the room or whatever. But like, I mean, the body language on all of these guys. None of these guys are renowned good body language players, right? Like you've got Kawhi Leonard, who's obviously the most quiet Terminator player in the league. Never talks. Like you can't really tell what he's thinking. Paul George is a podcaster. So intrinsically, the body language just sucks. Russ is extremely emotional, and then Harden is Harden, right? So like these aren't guys who are gonna like disguise their body language well. They're not guys like Steph Curry who only gets frustrated when Jordan Poole shoots the ball, right? Like these, it hasn't looked good, and you're right. Like I don't think that the effort levels are there. Right. So the Clippers, as it stands right now, are shooting 84, like since Monday, right? They're shooting 84.2 field goal attempts per game, which is third lowest in the league since Monday, behind only the T Wolves and the Lakers. And what the Clippers don't have that compares to those two teams is a defense that gives a crap. Right? Like, we're going to talk about the Minnesota Timberwolves in a bit, but like, that's the best defense in the league. Right? With the Lakers, like I don't expect them to take too many shots a game like that. Like that's just not like they're not a high paced team. Like they'll run the floor in transition if LeBron grabs a rebound or if they just see a good outlet pass. But otherwise, like this is a team that takes it slow and plays at a slow pace because I mean, LeBron's old. They have to. But the Clippers don't have that issue. Like they don't have guys that are like locking in defensively other than Kawhi Leonard every single night. They don't have
It's not even Kawhi lately.
huh?
Like
Not even
ever,
Kawhi lately.
yeah,
Not even
in
Kawhi
the last
lately,
few
right?
games,
Like
Kawhi has looked bad on defense.
yeah, like he's
All four of the stars looked awful on defense.
yeah. It's bad and like that's like you're
Yeah,
not going to get by with this slow pace if you don't have guys that are going to like lock in defensively and you don't have guys that are going to knock down their threes, right? Like if those field goal attempts were coming from threes then fine, it'd be okay. Um when Harden won the MVP in 27-18, right? 2018. That was the only time in the past, I mean, since then, that he's been on a team that has had like a lower field goal attempts per game, right? The Rockets barely shot for field goals. Like that just wasn't their game. Like they got to the line and they shot threes, right? It was just like a really high, like low. It wasn't the fastest pace, but it was smart analytical basketball. It made sense mathematically. This isn't what the Clippers are. This is a Clippers team that likes the mid range because of who their personnel is. This is a Clippers team that doesn't draw enough fouls because Harden just doesn't do that as well anymore. So like it's a confluence of James Harden's play completely affecting the system, right? Like this is the type of system and like type of pace that Harden does excel in, right? Has seen his best success in, but they don't play that way as a team because that's not how the Clippers have ever played. It doesn't make sense. I think it's a mess. I just yeah. Like look at it. Like they're averaging 84.3 field goal attempts per game, but Timberwolves are both in the top 5 in free throw attempts. Clippers are in the bottom 10. Right? Like they don't rebound, they don't run, they don't retain possessions. Like it doesn't make sense. It's a slow offense that can't score. And it's a defense that just isn't
yeah,
trying because your freaking backcourt is Russell Westbrook and James Harden. They're
yeah.
done.
The Clippers look at their best when they're playing fast. That's what I've noticed.
They can't play fast.
And they don't like they don't play fast unless they have that specific lineup that I just mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
where you have Terrence Mann, surprisingly, who's been really good, like
Untouchable.
with Paul George and Russ. Like that's the lineup that you guys need in order for the Clippers to play fast. Because when Harden comes in, like the offense is slowed a lot because Harden likes to dribble the clock out. And there were also possessions that were kind of frustrating where Harden would literally dribble the clock out until the last second, and then he just threw it to Terrence Mann in the last second to like heave a three.
Yeah. He's
That was not good basketball.
Sorry.
he's so unwilling to take like spot up threes. Like
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
Bro, take catch and shoot threes. You're good in the catch and shoot. Like what's wrong with you?
Or like create your own shot even if you have to. Like in those moments when you can't when the defense is just like all over your team, like you gotta create your own shot. It's Harden, man. He can do it. There's one thing he can do. He can play ISO ball.
That's not what they
But even then, like
they need him to be a spot up shooter. I think that's it. Like, do you think that the only solution here is to like send one of Russ or Harden to the bench? And I mean, which one would you send to the bench if that's the
great. Here's the thing. I would send Harden to the bench, but have Harden close games instead of Russ. So I'd start Russ, Kawhi, PG, Man, and Zubac. Unfortunately, Zubac
sucks?
because they need a big out there. But yeah, he's not good. But yeah, it's gonna have to be Zubac, and then from there on, you can switch between lineups where you have Kawhi and Harden playing together because so Kawhi's relieved of his playmaking duties, and Harden can do what he does, and then you have other lineups with Russ and Paul George together, and then to close, obviously you'd rather have Harden over Russ to space the floor, and just because having Russ in the last minute and a half at this point in his career can be kind of scary.
I disagree. Russ should have closed last night.
Okay, in last night specifically, Russ should have closed because they were cooking.
No, they're just better on the floor with him. Like it just makes more sense. And
Harden
like
also
he
hit a
finds a way to
clutch three.
ingratiate himself into the offense, then like no. Like Russ should be closing.
I don't know. I don't know if Russ should be closed.
He's more clutch, man. He makes the better he makes the better play.
I don't know.
See,
Like,
I want to
35-year-old Russ. I don't want to say that right now. Like I trust him over Harden in this situation. In the clutch.
Okay, but Harden's also 34, and I think maybe at the moment that might be like on paper Harden's a better player, so you let him close instead of Russ. But if the fit isn't there, you rather go with what works in the clutch. You rather go with a guy who gives a crap on defense in the clutch.
And I think Harden's less. I mean, Russ is more willing to play a role than Harden is at this point.
Yeah.
So
Harden,
I mean, if Harden
is better willing to play a role if he wants to stay on this team or if he wants to still be in the NBA.
I mean,
well, he'll still be in the NBA. They just gave up a lot for him. They're gonna re-sign him to a contract because that's what Steve Ballmer does. But like,
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Should we talk about who cooked them? Luka Doncic. You want to talk Luka Doncic?
Luka Doncic always cooks the Clippers.
Oh my god, dude! You guys see the Kendrick Perkins thing?
Yeah, bro, that's so out.
That's crazy. You can't be doing that on TV. That's crazy. But he's right. He is right. 44 points on 17 of 21 from the field and 6 of 9 from deep. 6 rebounds, 6 assists. A plus 32 rating. What the hell was that? It's like I know that they own the Clippers, but like, oh my god. I didn't think it'd be that gross. And like, that's just him getting the switch onto Russ or Harden on every single possession and just murdering them. over and over and over. They don't stand a chance.
I mean, that's what happens when you have like the number 2 offense in the league going up against the
Garbage.
worst defense,
One of the worst
5-man
in the league.
defense in the league. So he's gonna cook them every time.
Yeah,
Bro, Desmond Bain was cooking them too.
that's what he does, man. Desmond Bain's having a nice year.
Yeah,
Put some respect on him.
love him.
That's my guy. Go Grizzlies.
Oh my god.
Diego, how you feeling about your 55 wins prediction, though?
I'm feeling really good about
Yeah,
it.
you
I'm not
should be,
gonna lie.
man. We clowned you for that one.
No, the fact is, you guys all thought the Mavericks would be just bad.
Yeah.
Like I understand not thinking they'll get 55 wins because obviously that's ridiculous. I know it's ridiculous, but like they're a good team. Like at the very least, they're a good
They're all
team.
right.
Very
I
solid.
think they've had like the 6th easiest strength of schedule so far, and like the only real team they played was the Nuggets, and they lost.
The Raptors.
They also lost to the Raptors, yes, but
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
No, and the Raptors. And the Raptors.
and the Raptors.
You mentioned
yes.
serious teams. I want you to say the Raptors.
Mm.
No, but that's so like when they actually play playoff teams, I think that's when it'll show.
Like
But
the Raptors.
Oh, they'll be fine. They'll be fine.
Right.
Look, Luca's playing incredible. Kyrie is playing a lesser role, and he's playing incredible.
Okay. Let's look at their
The
upcoming
whole player is
schedule.
playing good.
Their upcoming schedule is kind of easy too. It's Pelicans again, so they're facing the Pelicans again on like the baseball series type thing. So both 2 home games at the Pelicans. Wizards, Bucks, Kings, Lakers, Clippers, Rockets, Grizzlies. So that's the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 games against 8 unserious teams.
okay, by then Fox should be back for the Kings.
Oh yeah, that's true.
By then
Hopefully.
Vando will be back for the Lakers.
So does it matter?
We were together when we saw King LeBron beat the Suns. Okay, so
That's the Suns, man. It
Suns
doesn't matter.
stink, bro.
and okay, but that's a serious team. Okay, they are
You don't
5
have
and
Eric
5 this
Gordon
year.
closing the game.
Yeah, he's
Bro, the
clutch.
Suns,
Don't you remember him cooking Michael Jordan's kids? He's good.
Who you fooling?
Okay, anyway.
But yeah, like I don't know, the Mavericks could come out of this in like the next 8 games, and then if you want to go 10 games, they've got Thunder and Grizzlies again. Like the next 10 games, they could feasibly go like 8-2. Right? Like
Yeah.
I have no problem predicting that. Like Pelicans is a win, probably. Wizards is a win. That team's horrendous. Bucks is close. Kings is close. Lakers is close, but I could see them winning most of like 2 of 3 of those.
Yeah.
Like if they emerge from like this run, which is not that hard a run, and their final record at the end of it is like 16-4. Like Diego, man, you're on pace.
you know the vibes.
Congrats.
Craziest thing I've ever heard.
I know. I can't believe it might come true. That's sickening. All right.
Yeah. I won't be able to live with myself.
It's rough. Of all things to come true, eh? All right.
It's not like I like the Mavericks either. Like it's just a random prediction.
Man, you're seeing what no one else saw. I'll be honest with you there. Yeah.
Oh man.
Okay. Let's talk quickly about the other side of the Harden equation. The 76ers are the best team in the East.
My guy.
Record-wise. Yeah, my guy.
50
Tyrese
bomb.
Maxey. Yeah, Tyrese Maxey 50 bomb looked out of this world. I mean, I was wrong about him. I thought that I said that he has in the past statistically been better off the ball. I mean, yeah, statistically he has been, but this is a leap that I didn't expect whatsoever. The question of him being an all-star, it's not a question anymore. It's just about how high his star can rise at this point. Like, is this tandem enough to compete with the Celtics in the East?
I mean,
I don't want to say yes.
I know playoff Embiid is always a big question mark.
Yeah.
exactly. And he
Like,
himself
I
has
think
said it, right? Like, in the past he said that it's not a rivalry for a reason.
they always kick our ass.
Exactly.
That's yeah. I don't know. The Celtics, no.
But
At least, I mean, Embiid, for the first time, like Embiid's got someone to be with, someone who's serious actually, not a
first time,
not an all-time talker.
Jimmy Butler was played with Joel Embiid.
Well, yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, they ran into Kawhi and the Raptors, man.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah,
wagon, unstoppable.
Oh, that's really problem.
They ran into
It went down to the final second.
yeah. So
We know.
I mean, it's the first time since then that Embiid's actually going to play with a serious backcourt partner. So is he the Murray to Embiid's Jokic?
but
Probably.
see when you say that, you're acting like Embiid has always done his best in the playoffs and the other person has let him down. But it's him as well, right? So I think regular season there is a good chance they finish the first seed, which is still a lot better than we all expected them to be. We expected them to probably be like the fourth best team, and they're on pace to be number one, which is amazing. Like, I'm impressed really by the Maxi jump. I agree, like, with what Kai said. That's what I was thinking as well, that they need like a primary ball handler, but they're clearly excelling with Maxi in that role. I I guess I'll believe it when I see it in the playoffs. But right now, just because of Embiid's track record, I want to say no.
Don't forget
Okay.
they have a serious coach now.
They do. That's right. I can't lie. Nick Nurse is loving life right now, eh? I thought I thought he'd be grieving. I thought he'd be solemn, sad after like with the whole Harden saga. I was like, man, this guy left a crappy org in Toronto for this crappy org. Have fun with that. Have fun with these players. But I mean, it's been incredible. It's been really nasty. They're currently third in the league in offense at 120.7 points a game. They look terrifying. I don't know. They seem like a wagon. Do you think that like they're one piece away? And who do you guys think that maybe they could trade for? Like, do you think it's like a wing that they need to like really take that next step and be able to compete with a team like the Celtics? Because I mean, like Tobias Harris has been really good for them. D'Anthony Melton is solid as like a role playing ball handler. Do you think that like they need another superstar, or maybe just go after someone like Malcolm Brogdon or something like that?
I think
Yeah,
they
they
do.
don't need that superstar.
I think
They
do
don't
need
need
one.
it.
Like the first person I'm thinking about is maybe, I mean, insert OG Anunoby into this lineup.
No,
It's gonna be perfect.
He said no so quick.
No, but like, while I agree it might be perfect, the other team has to be willing to trade the player, which is not happening this season.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
Masai trading to the 76ers and Nick Nurse is absolutely never going to
No.
happen. I promise you
I
that.
forgot about that. But yeah, I mean, someone in that mold, maybe like
Mhm.
a 3-and-D guy. I think that's what they need right now.
Yeah.
Because
So not someone like Zach Levine or DeMar who like seem to be on the horizon for the what was it, the impending doom? What did they say?
Potential downfall.
Potential downfall. Thank you.
I don't think so, because it's just gonna take away touches from Maxi as well, who's thriving right now. So I don't see them. I mean, they could trade it, but I don't see it fitting that well because you're bringing in another high usage guy to pair alongside Maxi in the backcourt, and those two aren't uh, plus defenders either. So I think that's where they're missing most is another perimeter defender that they can slot alongside there.
Denny
They brought them.
Avdia.
Stop.
What? You asked for a perimeter guy, a wing, who's good on defense,
I
who can
guess
shoot
so.
threes,
Sure,
who can do his job as a role player.
Kenny Avdia has not taken them over the top.
league shattering move.
Yeah.
No, but
That's
okay,
just some dude, bro. Like,
out of realistic possible trades,
We haven't
who
seen
else?
any Avdia like play in a winning situation, so I don't think that's gonna. I mean, you can give it a shot, but
Yeah, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it.
No, it's
but,
a
like,
low risk trade too, right? Like he's having a career year now.
sure.
you know who they should get? Korkmaz.
They ha-
You know he's
Oh.
yeah, dude. He's like 60% on catch and shoot threes. He'd be really good.
No, he's gonna be awesome.
All right. That's I don't mind the Denny Avdia one. Yeah, that's solid. I don't know
They're
who
also
else.
still waiting for Kelly Oubre to come back right now.
No.
So
Oh man, that sucks.
Kelly's also been really good for the
Yeah,
Sixers.
he's been incredible for
Yeah,
them. That sucks. Yeah.
stunned at the news. I was flabbergasted.
Wait up. I'm looking up good catch and shoot 3-point shooters. Give me a sec.
Buddy Hield.
Low key.
but again, if
I
that's
wish
a
he was
team,
better defensively.
Yeah, it's not. That's not. Good.
yeah.
That's not. Good.
But if they're trying to make a playoff push, why would they trade to like a conference rival?
He wants out, like Korkmaz.
Mm-hmm.
Go 1-for-1.
Korkmaz. Who want him?
Who want me?
Who want him?
Yeah. No, I mean Doug McDermott, he's a pretty good 3-point shooter, which he was better on defense. His catch and shoot rate, 52.4% on catch and shoot looks, 4.2 attempts a game. That's pretty nice.
He's always been gas at 3-point shooting, but
Yeah.
yeah,
That white
that's
boy can shoot.
all he does. That's all he does.
Okay. All right.
That's a Thunder legend. But
You know, on Jan 15th, Jeremy Grant will be available for a trade,
Yeah.
and they have the Batum and the Marcus Morris contracts to like match that.
Mhm.
I feel like that's probably who they go for, right?
that's really good.
Because he's not going to be on the Trailblazers by the end of the year. Like, there's no way. Like, it was actually really smart. It was a smart move for the Trailblazers to re-sign him, even though like the figure is kind of ridiculous. Like, they're going to get good trade value out of him now because teams are like hungry. They're seeing what the Nuggets and the Celtics are bringing to the table, and it's just like, okay, it's time to find something that can compete. And Jeremy Grant can absolutely put you over the top if you're a team like the Sixers.
Yeah, like as a third option in a league where wings are like make or break for in most situations, you can't go into the playoffs with Kelly Oubre as your best wing.
Yeah. And I feel like he looks like a good plug and play guy. Like, he's not going to affect your system at all. Like, if you're going for a guy like Zach LaVine or DeMar DeRozan, you're right. Like, it's going to take touches away. You have to find ways to work around them in a lot of ways. But with someone like Jeremy Grant, and that's why like Tobias Harris is so key for them. Like, these are just plug and play guys. Like, they know exactly what they're going to do every single time they're out there, and like there's no fuss.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay. All right. Let's move on. Yeah, let's talk about the Houston Rockets. Fresh off a win against the Denver Nuggets. This team is absolutely on a heater right now. They've won 6 in a row since starting 0-3. I figured they were cooked after going 0-3. I was like, oh, this team's just, it's unserious. It's the Houston Rockets. But now winning 6 in a row against the Nuggets, the Pelicans, the Lakers, the Kings without Fox twice, and the Charlotte Hornets. This team actually looks like a real force. For some reason, they're using their depth pretty well, actually. Tari Eason just came back from injury. He's been solid for them, putting up solid minutes off the bench. Fred VanVleet has been shooting inefficiently, but it's fine. He's playmaking really well. He's the point guard that this team needed. Same with Jalen Green. He's just completely and utterly inefficient. I think he was one of like 13 last night.
Yeah, I can't believe they won on Jalen Green going 1 of 13.
It's almost like it doesn't matter. What do you guys think is like has been the key for this like Rockets resurgence as of late?
I think coaching is the biggest one, I would say. Like, I remember last year, like multiple times we spoke about how coaching was the reason Şengün's not being unleashed, and 6 games into like 6 games in to his start of like his season here now, he's cooking. He has the ball more. He's being more aggressive on both ends. Like last night against Jokic, Jokic was 7 of 17 against Şengün, 41%.
With
And
2 turnovers.
against, sorry?
With 2 turnovers too.
Yeah. And against everyone else, he was 8 of 10. So you can see how like a coaching change has unleashed their best talent, I would say. And it's just amazing to see how the other guys too, except for Jalen Green and Fred VanVleet, have just bought into their roles and just want to win. Like guys like Jay Sean Tate, he was so good on defense, just making clutch plays, clutch steal in the end to secure the win. And I think coaching is where all of the dominoes start here.
I mean, don't single out Jalen Green and Fred VanVleet. They're like
No, Fred's been fine.
I think they're playing the roles perfectly. Even Jalen Green, you just need him to be a scorer out there. I mean, he's shooting 40% from 3. That's actually a big improvement.
Yeah, his 3 games before the Denver game, he had 23, 28, and 25. Like the 23-point game against Sacramento was on 5 of 9 shooting. Like that's fine. I'm good with that, bro.
And you have to
in the 9 games. In the 9 games Jalen Green has played, he has shot over at least 50% twice, and the rest is just like absolutely inefficient nights.
He's a microwave scorer.
Yeah, you don't need him to shoot 50%.
They need. I'm sorry, like on a team where like I'm not expecting Şengün to drop 20 a night, right? Like he has been, but like I'm sorry, he's not Jokic. Like it's baby Jokic, but he's not going to be that type of scorer every single night, right? Fred VanVleet every once in a while is going to go off for like 20 points somewhat efficiently, you pray. Dylan Brooks is shooting pretty well. He's been a solid scorer, but like they're going to need someone to be like their number one option on offense. And like if Jalen Green can do that once or twice a week, I'll take it. The problem last year was that Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green both thought that they were going to be the number one scorers every single night. And there was no one to like keep them afloat. Right? Like Jalen Green can have bad nights because he's got other guys on the team to like fill in the scoring when his shot isn't falling. But when his shot is falling, it's just like that's the offensive guy that the Rockets drafted 2nd overall. Like that's why he's there. So I have no problem with him putting up like stupid numbers, right? Like I have no problem with him like what you said. How many times has he gone over 50%?
3, I checked.
Twice.
3 out of 9.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like if he's gonna score, if he's gonna drop 20 a night, like do it, bro. Go off.
You don't think in year 3 that there needs to be some consistency here?
No, it's fine.
No, I think
he's consistent too.
He'll pick it up.
Yeah.
I think he'll pick it up.
You can't question the consistency. Shooting 40% every night.
Yeah. Look, his 3-point shot is falling, right? Like that's enough for me.
Yeah.
A lot of the time. Like, look, he's a 41% shooter from the field. Like, whatever, bro. It's fine. Just
But
give me a
okay,
couple nasty
even
nights.
those, even the 3-point shot, right? Like he's only shot more than 33% thrice in the 9 games. It's not like that's consistent. He
Mm.
just had like 2 games where he went like 5 of 6 and then 4 of 8. So that just skews it all over. Like that's why
Let
it
it
says 40% across the board.
let it be
But the
then.
point is that. Sorry, go ahead, Mike.
No, just let it be then. I mean, if
It's
that's
still a small sample
his
size.
role is to be a microwave scorer, and he's playing that well for this season.
Yeah. Like, dude, like, look, he starts off the season with a 10-point game and then 3 20-plus point games in a row. 10-point game, 3 20-plus point games in a row. Just had a 9-point game against Denver. I'm betting the over on 20 points a game for the next 3 games. I promise you, bro. Like, that's consistency right there.
Okay, but you
Nah,
know
cut,
what?
cut.
I apologize for changing the topic. We need to talk about the Rockets being good as a team.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not
Well,
chilling.
losing KPJ was really good for them.
Yeah, that guy sucks.
Yeah, especially considering picking up Red and Dylan
Yeah.
in replacement of KPJ, like outstanding.
Yeah, so Dylan Brooks, we were pretty heavy on this in the offseason, eh? Like this is like a renaissance
Oh
of
yeah,
a team. He's still like a villain. He's still like the funniest dude in the league.
Dylan the
Staring
villain.
And
down,
off with
staring down
LeBron.
LeBron.
Oh,
Hilarious. But like he's also just been really great this season. I think this is the best season of his career. This is the best defensive rating of his career so far at 103.5, the best true shooting of his career at 69.1, best effective field goal percentage at 65.4, and this is all despite being on the lowest usage percentage of his career. Like what we're seeing from Dylan Brooks is awesome, right? Like he's playing a role perfectly. He's the heel. Um, He's the lightning rod. He's absorbing all the shock, and he's doing really well. Like he's keeping it efficient. He's been a force defensively. He's been a huge part of their like massive defensive resurgence. By the way, they're 9th in defensive rating this year. What the hell? But yeah, I mean,
They're like
Dylan
fifth,
Brooks-
right?
What's that?
They're 5th in defensive rating this year.
Oh wait, they must have moved up after last night. My bad. I was looking at Kirk Goldberry's things from like a couple, like from like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, after last night, they're 5th. My God.
They're like
from the Rock.
they're like 3rd in opposing points per game, and they're also number
Second
2
in forcing turnovers, most points of turnovers.
and number 2 in defending the 3 as well. So yeah, I was gonna touch on that before you mentioned it. Like the defense, I think, is the most important thing about the Rockets' resurgence this season, and I think that ties up with what Aaron said about Ime Udoka. We all know what he did for the Celtics defensively, and I think he's bringing that same thing to the Rockets this season.
Yeah. And also like all the veterans that they have on the roster, like Jeff Green was making clutch shots against the Nuggets. And I mean, when he was not chucking shots, I think Fred VanVleet did a great job of like keeping the offense organized and basically doing everything that they wished Kevin Porter Jr. did. And I think that's great. Like he plays defense too. Shengun was raving about how Fred guards the best players on the opposing team. And like it's great to have a lead guard do that. So the veteran signings that they made just are clicking. They are buying into their roles, and at the same time it's kind of familiar to the 10-3 start that the Utah Jazz made last season. They did have good wins too last time. Like they beat the Grizzlies, they beat the Lakers. They had good wins too, and like the Rockets team right now. But
Who'd
I
you throw
want
in
to
there?
say,
What
sorry,
was that? What was that second team you mentioned?
the Lakers,
Wasn't the team like 05 to start the year last year?
2 of 8.
Yeah, they sucked. I don't know why you're bringing them up.
No, but
Can't help it.
Okay, they beat the Clippers too last season during that run. They beat the Timberwolves as well. They beat the Nuggets, so they had good wins, and similar to the Rockets. So, but at the same time, I want to say they have better talent, they have better coaching, so they might be able to sustain it. I think.
Yeah, and this seems like a team that actually wants to win. Like the Jazz last year, like it didn't like they could have made the playoffs, but it's clear that they didn't want to try near the end of the year. Like
Yeah.
that team was on track to blow it up. And it seems like the Rockets actually want to care. Like you don't spend that much money in the offseason without a plan of attack for like how to get to the playoffs or like if you're even willing to get to the playoffs. And it feels like a team that surprisingly could contend in what is like a disgustingly crowded Western Conference. I still think they're a play-in team.
Yeah.
Like I think
At
they'll
best,
finish
right?
like yeah. I still think they'll finish like 9 through 11 in the West just because it's too crowded.
Yeah.
But I mean, they've been a more than pleasant surprise so far. And Şengün has been an absolute revelation. Yeah. Okay.
Agreed.
What do you want to say? Go say.
Who?
You, Diego.
No, what? I agree.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Paul Pierce here. I agree.
I agree.
But yeah,
You're
no, I mean, I've just really liked what I've seen from Şengün. Like, obviously defensively against Jokic, like you mentioned, Aaron. What was it? 7 of 17 from the field that he held him to, and then 2 turnovers. 2 of his 3 turnovers were against Alpi as like the primary defender. I've also really liked his offensive game, right? And like that's where like the baby Jokic comparisons kind of do just come in with him. And it really kind of took form last night. They're against like a big team in the Nuggets, right? Like a big team that defends the paint well, that like gets into your body and like plays physical down low, right? And he realized that like he's not going to get those good looks at the rim. So he settled for a lot of like mid-range jumpers and like one-legged fades, the type that you'd see like Jokic take. Right? And like I don't know, it was really impressive to see like he's dissecting the game at a different level. He's clearly a ridiculously smart player and he's just so talented. Like the leap that he's taking right now, I think that like that's I don't know, like that seems like the guy for them.
Yeah, I agree.
Alfie.
I mean, I've been an Alpi stan since day one. So
he's nice.
I love to see it.
Mete.
What?
Mete.
I'm pissed I traded him.
You should have traded him to me.
No.
Didn't I give you Alpi?
Yeah, you gave me I traded him for Beal.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean it's been massive. I think Houston's legit enough to make the playoffs. I got mistaken for a Rockets fan on Twitter the other day because I was talking about
That was funny.
that was interesting.
Yeah, where does Şengün go on a redraft?
For what year is that? Is that
2021 with
2021?
Yeah, Scotty, you got Mobley, you got Giddy, Wagner.
Okay, well Scotty won.
Of course.
Duh.
Obviously.
Easy.
I mean I don't think he surpasses Mobley, Cade, Scotty, Giddy.
You think he goes higher than his teammate?
Yeah.
Yes. So
yeah.
that's 6th best, right?
Yeah, I'd put him 6th best. I think that's pretty reasonable, right?
I think so too.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I mean, Banton has to be up there too.
What about Kai Jones? Is he not there?
Who?
Kai Jones.
What about never swing the rock Cam Thomas?
Oh, dude, he's going top 10 in a redraft. Be for real. He's nasty. Late first rounder. What a stud. I love him. Okay. Cool. Who else was in that draft? I'm actually curious now. You got me
there's okay, you want me to read out like guys? Just no order specifically. Trey Murphy was there, Herb Jones, Nashawn Highland.
Oh, you know who was there? Luka Garza. Yeah, that's who I thought was there.
Right.
That's a good transition point. Let's talk
Yeah.
about the T-Wolves.
Yeah.
Man, they don't need that guy. I'll tell you what, because that 3-man center rotation has been absolutely clicking this year. That team is fierce. Absolutely whopped the Warriors last night. Cooked them. Good night. Put them
Good
on a
night.
platter and
Good night.
serve them, bro. This is the best defense in the NBA. First in opposing points per game, first in opposing field goals, first in opposing 3-point percentage, and first in defensive rating. They've held teams to 100 points to under 100 points 5 times this year. They have 3 guys in the top 4 in defensive win shares. That's Ant, Rudy Gobert, and Karl Anthony Towns is in the top 4 in defensive defensive win shares. Like, this team is absolutely out of this world. I'm convinced that they have not only the best rim protector in the world, but the best perimeter defender in the entire world in Jaden McDaniels. And he's not even in the top 4 in defensive win shares because he hasn't played most of the year. They're clicking on another level since he got back. Their role players all defend well. So you got Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Kyle Anderson, Naz Reid. All of these guys can defend pretty well. All of them understand their roles. This team is on another level this year. What do you guys think? Is this legit?
I think they're doing injustice to Leonard Miller.
Come on.
No,
bro.
okay, but
Bears.
seriously, no, this team's.
He wants to be a Canadian citizen so bad.
Yeah,
Who cares?
put me in, coach.
G League superstar, man.
No. I think we were hyping this up all off season when Ant was going off for Team USA. We manifested this. We knew this would happen, but I think I didn't expect it to be this good already. Like, what we're seeing from Ant is, for once, it's not a joke when we say it's like Jordan-esque. Like, he's averaging 36 and 6 with 2 steals, 50% in the last 6 games. He's cooking. He's cooking, and if he sustains this, like, that's MVP level basketball that he's playing while being an absolute pest on defense too. I think the whole Chris Finch scheme is settling in now. Even though sometimes it feels awkward to pair Rudy Gobert and Cat in your front court. I don't know. I still don't like the fit that much. Like, I think they can trade Cat and do better.
No, they're not trading Cat.
You don't mess with it if it's this.
No, you don't touch what they've got. I think that, like, Chris Finch was very complimentary of what Cat's been doing. Like, you can tell he actually cares on defense, which is a first for him. Like, you can tell that he's like, Chris,
Yeah.
stop. What Chris Finch said following the game was that, like, Cat has been reading and reacting and recognizing much better on the defensive end, and, like, that's what I'm seeing, right? Like, he's not getting blown by, right? He's reacting to plays well. He's reading defense as well, and he's fighting, bro. Like, there was one play, like one rebound that he absolutely, like, pushed, like, Dario Saric and, like, some other short scrub on the Warriors out of the way for, like, late in the fourth quarter. Just, like, grabs the rebound and just, like, fighting them off. And, like, you don't see him do things like that in years past. You don't see him, like, giving a damn on that end. So, like, him actually trying has been wonderful. Like, his rebounding has been nasty. And I think that, like, if he can just be, like, a usable defender, like, we're not asking him to be Rudy Gobert. We're not asking him to be anything close to that. Like, grab some defensive rebounds, make it so that Rudy can just be a lurking defender in the paint. Like, that's all you really need from Cat, because everyone else is going to, like, completely shore up his issues. Like, that team is disgusting. Like, I don't think you can trade Cat at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. Sorry, go ahead.
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, yeah, you can't trade Cat at this point because, as Kai's been saying, he's been really trying defensively, and um, it's just gonna come together for him on the offensive end as well because that's where he thrives most, and he's been coming around lately. He's had 3 straight 20 plus point games and 2 straight double doubles. So I mean, if he's able to, you know, be a consistent 20-10 guy for them, 22 points a game, their offense is just going to catch up with their defense. So yeah.
And that's all you're looking for. Like, again, like there's just so many good role players on this team that excel defensively. That like they can shore up his problems. And when you've got Rudy Gobert just patrolling the paint, like it's disgusting how much Rudy Gobert is back. He's winning Defensive Player of the Year again. Just so that's clear. Like
That's if this continues.
it seems I don't see the issue with this team. Like they've beaten 3 like very legit teams. Like they're good. I don't see how this goes anywhere else. Like Ant has spurts of inconsistency at times, but I think that there's guys like Cat who can excel offensively to like kind of shore up those problems. Like
You
what
gotta
they
you
they
got a
beat the
point guard.
Celtics.
You got a
They've
point
got a
guard that doesn't
Conley's
turn
been
the ball
good.
over.
Yeah,
He
Conley's
had
been
to
really
turn the
good.
ball over in well, he had 4 turnovers the other game, but
Yeah,
he
like ever since
didn't turn over
Alpha,
or didn't have any turnovers for like what for the first few weeks of the season.
Yeah, he's still averaging like 0.7 in 9 games.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, like they hit their free throws except for Rudy. Like they're great, and like on this 6-game win streak, what it's wins against the Nuggets, Celtics, and Warriors. Like that's 3 great teams, and they bottled them up. Like they demolished the Nuggets. I haven't seen a team do that to the Nuggets in ages, dude. 110-89, they clapped them, and like they have the size that is needed to compete in the West, right? Like when we're looking at the West, like the top teams, the ones that like we're really scared of are like these huge squads. Guys like the Nuggets, like the Lakers, still like they're terrifyingly big. And the Wolves have the size that you need to compete with that. Like that's why I don't think like the Warriors are going to make noise in the playoffs. Like I'm sorry, you're too small. What happened last night is going to happen again once you face teams like the Nuggets, the Lakers, and the T-Wolves. Same thing with the Mavericks. You're going to get demolished. They're too big. They're too physical. And like that's not something that disappears, Like they're not going to get smaller. And like Ant, he clearly cares. Like he's going to want to try as hard as he can. Like I don't see this success going anywhere for the Timberwolves. Like the recipe just feels foolproof.
Yeah, I mean they just have defensive pieces all around. So I mean, I think that's the thing that they've been kind of missing over the last couple of years, right? Like, I mean, I know Jaden McDaniels has been there, but his growth this year as a perimeter defender is just so much notable. And I think the fact that Ant is just trying a lot more harder on that end of the floor has just taken this team's defense to another level. So I mean, you have 2 elite perimeter defenders paired with the best paint defender in the world. So just at all the recipe for a top notch defense.
Yeah. And they hit their top 5 in free throw rate in the entire league. Anthony Edwards can turn it on at a moment's notice. Like what he did to Draymond last night was sickening as soon as Draymond started trash talking him. Right? Like in the fourth quarter, just scored 6 points on his own. like 3 straight possessions, just absolutely cooked them. Went coast to coast, finished off the glass, then gets the switch onto Draymond, cooks him at the top of the key, spins into a fadeaway midi, just gross.
Oh, that was so gross.
Yeah, and then on the next play, he
was
switches
so
onto Curry, pulls up from the elbow, banks it in, and it's money, bro. Like that's what he can do if he wants to. Like when he turns it on, when he gets into the zone, like he genuinely is Jordan-esque, but like one of the best like 8 players in the NBA.
Yeah. The only reason why I said was if it continues earlier was because we haven't seen them do it for a whole season, right? For a whole season, for a whole postseason. So, uh, like you said, they do have a solid plan in place for that to happen. I think if they are able to stay relatively injury free, that they could be a top 3 team, top 4 team in the West.
He has to be up there as a top two-way player in the league, no?
Yeah,
He's the
100%.
best one, no?
Absolutely. One of the best two-way wings in the entire league right there. No question.
I mean, is he
Okay.
the best?
Tatum.
Yeah, that's who I was gonna say.
Yeah. All right. We'll save that discussion for another time. That's all the time we've got for today. Any closing remarks? Are we good? Say less. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Positionless Pod. You can check us out on socials. So that's Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, or X, or whatever. No Facebook, just because we're not old people. Yeah, if you're listening on YouTube, everyone, wave goodbye. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, that whole shebang. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review. Signing off for Aaron Matthew, Diego San Agustin, and Michael Anthony Cruz, the most bright young minds in the basketball media landscape today. I'm Kai Gamanich. It's been a slice.